Couzens went on to kill Sarah Everard.
Wayne Couzens falsely arrested Sarah after accusing her of breaching lockdown rules.
Everybody, welcome in. Let's get into the timeline of events that led up to the demise of Sarah Everard and the monster Wayne Couzens who took her life. And with that, let's get into it. Unfortunately, Sarah Everard was at the wrong place at the wrong time when she crossed paths with Wayne Couzens, who was a police officer with the MET, which we are going to get into a little bit of his background, because what he did 4 days prior to kidnapping Sarah Everard, he should have never have had that MET card. Let's start on March 3rd. 2021, the day that Sarah went missing. Sarah Everard leaves her friend's house in Clapham, South London, at around 9 p.m. She called her boyfriend, which was captured multiple times on CCTV as she headed towards her home in Brixton on foot. A PC, Wayne Couzens, on leave from work that day, pulls up his hire car on Pointers Road and falsely arrests Sarah Everard at around 9:30 p.m. He used the excuse that she was out during a COVID lockdown. He drove her to Dover, Kent, where he transfers her into his own car at around 11:30 p.m. after taking her to a secluded rural area where he arred and murdered her. How did their paths cross, and what precautions did Wayne Couzens take not to get caught before he drove into London and spotted Sarah Everard? If Sarah would have stayed at her friend's house 5 minutes longer, would she still be here today? Let's go back to the history of Wayne Couzens and why this should not have happened. Before we get into this horrific story with facts after the fact, who is Wayne Couzens? He was born December 1972. When Sarah Everard went missing, Wayne Couzens was married to his wife, Olena, for 16 years, and they had 2 children and lived in Deal, Kent. In 2005, 16 years before the murder of Sarah Everard, Wayne Couzens joined the Kent Police and moved to the Civil Nuclear Constabulary in 2011. In September of 2018, he was transferred over to the Met Police. Wayne Couzens also served in the Safer Neighborhood team. He was part of a response team in Bromley, and in February of 2020, he was moved to prestigious Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command. Issued with a license to carry firearms, Wayne Couzens was trusted to offer protection for embassies around the capital, and to think that he put a plan to kidnap somebody in February, the month before he pulled off this heinous, senseless act. Let's discuss Wayne Couzens' background as far as the naughty things that he has done, and why and how was he even a police officer. When Wayne Couzens joined the Civil Nuclear Constabulary, the CNC, in March of 2011, reportedly his ex-colleagues gave him the nickname the R-ist because he made some female officers feel uncomfortable. It then emerged that the Kent police received a complaint from a male motorist that a man had been spotted driving around a Dover naked from the waist down. During that time, he was a volunteer in 2015. The incident was investigated by the Independent Office for Police Conduct after Kent police took no action. The IOPC also revealed Wayne Couzens was accused of flashing on 2 other occasions with concerns that they were not properly investigated by the Met in days before Sarah Everard was murdered. Honestly, how was he able to continue serving as an officer despite all the questions being raised about his behavior? Now listen to this. The girl that was working at the McDonald's drive-thru when Wayne Couzens came through.
I was at work just doing my normal tasks as part of my role at McDonald's. I remember everything, even down to the cheeseburger and coffee that he ordered. I did not expect to have an erect penis shown to me. It took me a moment to process what had just happened and then became really upset and burst into tears.
After the incident at McDonald's, the worker actually called the police and gave them Wayne Couzens' registration to his car and the credit card number. They never investigated it, and they never took his MET card. How is that okay? A big what if in this case. Hard to believe, right? Back to the timeline of the night that Wayne Couzens' path crossed with Sarah Everard. On March 4th, 2021, in the early hours of the morning, Wayne Couzens is captured on CCTV driving near Hodes Wood. He leaves the site before dawn and returns the hire car used in the abduction at around 8:30 a.m. He disposes of Sarah Everard's phone in a stream and sandwich an hour later. That is when Sarah's boyfriend reports her missing that evening. On March 5th, Wayne Couzens buys a gasoline at a service station in Whitfield, which he uses to burn Sarah Everard and possessions in Hodes Wood at 12:45 p.m. He then purchases 2 rubble bags at B&Q, which he uses to move and hide her remains in a nearby pond. Unbelievable how an officer, a father, a man with a good reputation does this. On March 6th, 2021, the Met issues an appeal over Sarah Everard's disappearance as the missing posters are distributed across London. March 7, 2021, police pass on the investigation to Special Crime Command and release a doorbell camera footage of Sarah Everard on the night of the disappearance. And at the same time, Wayne Couzens takes his wife and 2 children on a family trip to Hodes Wood, the same place where he brought Sarah Everard. He is a very sick, disturbed individual, and how the police did not take away his MET card fire him is something with everything that he was accused of before he planned to go out and kidnap and murder a girl. March 8th, 2021, Wayne Couzens calls in sick on the day he is due to return from his leave. Specialist officers are drafted, and as more than 120 members of the public offer up information. March 9th, 2021, footage of the day that Wayne Couzens was arrested for the kidnapping of Sarah Everard. Let's talk about the things that Wayne Couzens did leading up to Sarah Everard's kidnapping. February 10th, 2021, Wayne ordered a police standard issue handcuff key with double locking pin from Amazon, part of an array of equipment the prosecution says was used to convince Everard he was an on-duty police officer rather than off-duty. March 2nd through the 3rd. The last shift worked by Couzens was from 7 p.m. on March 2nd to 7 a.m. on March 3rd. He was an armed officer in the Met's elite, a parliamentary and diplomatic protection group posted at the U.S. Embassy March 3rd before 4:47 p.m. a local time. Having told his family he was working, Wayne Couzens drove to Dover, where he left Enterprise car hire in a Vauxhall Crossland he had booked on the 28th of February. Premeditation there, Wayne? 8 p.m. on March 3rd. Cousin buys a pack of 14 hairbands at a Tesco in Kensington, West London. The prosecution stated the hairbands were bought for the purpose of the planned kidnap and are, whether as restraints, are to be used during sexual acts, as in tying the hairbands around his penis to keep him erect. He's disgusting. 9 to 9:30 p.m. having driven around, in the prosecution's words, hunting for a lone young female to kidnap and are. Wayne Cousin pulls up on Poinders Road in Clapham, South London, and stops Sarah. He shows her his police warrant card and handcuffs her as part of a false arrest. She is placed in the back of the car with a seatbelt. 11:43 p.m. CCTV footage shows Couzens' seat pulling away from a North Military Road, Dover, having driven there in the hired Vauxhall and then transferred Everard into his own car. 11:53 p.m. to midnight shows Wayne Couzens' phone used cell sites in the Cyberwold area, which he knew well. He is believed to have AR'd Sarah during this period before returning to Dover after 1 a.m. March 4th, 2:34 a.m. Wayne Couzens buys 2 bottles of still water, an apple juice, a Lucozade orange, and a carrier bag from BP Dover South Services at a time when it is believed that Sarah had already been murdered. 7:30 a.m. Wayne returns to North Military Road in Dover, and the Vauxhall hire car is driven away a few minutes later. 8:14 a.m. Wayne goes to a Costa Coffee in Bingham Street, Dover, where he buys a hot chocolate with coconut milk and a Bakewell tart. As he stands at the till, he fidgets, wringing his hands. 8:30 a.m. Wayne returns the Vauxhall hire car to Enterprise, having racked up more than 300 miles in the vehicle. 9:20 a.m. to 9:37 a.m. Wayne Couzens, back in his seat, arrives in Sandwich, Kent, where he disposes of Sarah's mobile phone. 11:05 a.m. is when he is seen at the BP petrol station in Whitfield, where he buys an empty green petrol can, which he fills with 5.85 liters of petrol, which is later used to burn Sarah Everard's body. He also fills his car with diesel and buys a salted caramel latte. A few minutes later, he purchases an extra large value meal and a bottle of orange juice at a drive-through McDonald's. I wonder if he went through naked from the waist down. 12:40 p.m. The seat is spotted in Hode's Wood, and a fire is seen in the area, consistent with the location where Wayne burned Sarah's body. Now this part, March 5th, in the early afternoon, Couzens calls a local vet to make an appointment for his family's French bulldog, saying it is suffering from separation anxiety, and he sounds relaxed. And let's listen.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could book my dog in for the vet so I can have a discussion about issues, please. It's Couzens, Couzens. Is Maddie. That's the one. No, that's fine. I work shift work, so either, let me think, but would it be possible the Friday the 12th, sometime after 3:30? That would be brilliant. Yep, no, that's fine. We think she's suffering from, separation anxiety. And we have tried absolutely everything. We've tried sort of like to give her puzzles and bits and pieces, treat puzzles and everything. We take her for walks every single day. But we've been told, I've got a camera set up as well, but we've been told reliably by our neighbours, so we know there's issues, and she just barks and howls constantly all day. But obviously, when we're there. And then when we come home, she's like so excited and worked up that she kind of wheezes and she's shaking. But where she jumps up and she's got longer claws, she like scratches the kids, she scratches us. Not all by accident, but we're just wondering, we have read online about if it gets to quite a bad degree of separation anxiety, then potential medications like try and calm her down. So that's what we want to talk to the vet about, really, and a way forward with it. Yep.
1:43 p.m. is when he is at the B&Q where he buys the 220-liter Builder bags. 2:50 p.m. to 3:40 p.m. Wayne is back at Hode's Woods where he must have moved Sarah's body using the bags he had just purchased. March 7 in the morning, Wayne Couzens takes his family for a road trip to Hode's Wood, where he had previously left and then burned and hid Sarah Everard's body. March 9th at 7:45 p.m. is when the police officers show up at his house. He definitely planned an abduction of somebody. Unfortunately, what a complete animal, a monster. I wonder what his wife and children think of him now. Police arrest Wayne Couzens at his home in Deal, Kent, in connection with Sarah's disappearance. After wiping his phone and denying knowing who she is, he tells officers a false story about being blackmailed into abducting her by an Eastern European gang. Let's go ahead and watch this police body cam footage of the night they interviewed Wayne Couzens at his house.
Let's talk to you about Sarah. Do you know Sarah?
I don't know.
Okay. Sarah went missing. Show some pictures of her on the day.
Okay.
Sarah went missing on Wednesday. And her parents are asleep, and her family are really worried about them. The inquiry that's been conducted so far has led us to come and speak to you about it and to see what we know about Sarah, okay? So, would you like to, do you know where Sarah is?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about what happened to her?
I know that she went missing up in London somewhere, about a week ago or so, just from what I got on the news.
Okay. Have you ever personally met her?
No, not personally, no.
Have you had any interactions with her at all?
Why would I have personal interactions with her?
Well, it's very difficult because you can't go into a lot of the evidence because obviously that's not what an urgent interview is, okay? This interview is just about trying to find her. Because she's been missing for a while now.
I'm sat in handcuffs and you're asking me why I know her. So you must have something to say that I know her.
Well, as I said, you've been arrested on suspicion of kidnap, and we believe that you've been involved in her disappearance and taking her away from her family.
Okay.
So we are trying to find her. Obviously, everybody is very worried about her. She's there's a lot of people that care about her.
Sure.
If you've seen her on the news, there's other people that reach out about her.
Sure.
Out there looking for her every day. And she's missing. It's our job. We believe that there's something found where she is, and that's why we're here, to look for her and to try and find her. And that's why we're talking to you now, is to get you to.
Okay. Well, I am in financial, and I've been lent on by I don't know who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever. And
they told me, right, I need to go and pick up girls and give them to them. So, I said, not happening. And it then came through that they're going to harm my family, take them away, and they'll use them instead. At that point, I had no option to try and find somebody. So, I don't, there's just a couple of names. I was told a place to take her. That's it. That is all I know. And to this group of people.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know that you'll help me.
There was a white Sprinter van. They was between sort of Lenham, Maidstone area that I dropped her off. I still don't know. I don't know. I just parked my car up, and then the van come up behind me, flashed me. They all jumped out, and then they took this girl. They said, you've done good, and I don't know whether my family's going to be alright still. But they threatened to take my family away from me. So at that point, I'm doing what I can to protect my family. That's it. So all I know is that it was a roundabout. We could drive there now. I could show you. But roughly, I don't know Lenham, Maidstone area at all.
Did you do it on Google? If you did it on Google Maps, like Google Earth, if you drove it, would you be able to do it?
I drove from Ashford to Maidstone. There's a roundabout that breaks up, I guess. So this is the first big roundabout I've come to. You would carry straight over to Maidstone, but instead I went round that roundabout and back up another road. And at that point, I was flashed and pulled over. 3 guys got out, opened my door, opened that door, pushed me out against the front of the car, took the girl, drove off. That's it. They said, we'll be in touch. So I'm here, I'm off work with stress because I'm here to protect my family. I want to be here 24/7 for my family. They come from my family. I've got nothing myself. I've got no choice.
I'll go back to the route with you in a minute, alright? But how do they contact you?
I tried to take over on one of their call girls and rip her off. So she's told them, and they got me. So
how do they contact you? How is it they've been in contact with you to make these steps?
They just tell me, be here. So Hotel Burston down in Folkestone, got to be here. Okay, so I turned up. I've got no mobile number, and they have got my mobile number. They're obviously outside watching, following. I just, honestly...
How are they telling you to be there? How is it they're giving those directions?
Yeah, they'll come outside. So they'll be outside here.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, right, you're going to be in Folkestone at this time, or you're going to be in Ashford at this time. That's it. There's no links, no telephone numbers. I'm completely on my own, but at the same time being threatened. It had Romanian plates on the van, white, like Mercedes Sprinter type van.
Wayne Couzens was sentenced to 19 months imprisonment after pleading guilty to the 3 offenses of exposure. The offenses occurred on November 13th, 2020, February 14th, 2021, and February 27th, 2021. Wayne Couzens, who is 50 years old, is currently serving a whole life sentence for the R and murder of Sarah Everard. He really is the epitome of a monster. Let's end this video on a statement from Sarah Everard's family. They described Sarah as a shining example. They said, quote, Sarah was bright and beautiful, a wonderful daughter and sister. She was kind and thoughtful, caring and dependable. She always put others first and had the most amazing sense of humor. She was strong and principled and a shining example to us all. We are very proud of her, and she brought so much joy to our lives. Oh, what a shame. Drop your thoughts, and with that, it is a wrap. Everybody, I thank you for coming in. Please make sure you click that like, the subscribe, and the bell for notifications so you do not miss the next time we drop a video and or a go live. Everybody, have a good day or a good night wherever you are in the world, and stay vigilant. I am out.